What up, what up, what up? Welcome everybody back to another episode of Talk Yo Shift. Your boy Reggie here. It's presented by RggiTV, of course. Got my big brother, Big Lou. Let me say what's up, Big Lou?
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Good to be back. Let's do another one.
Let's go. This week, we're going to recap our picks from last week, of course. So we want to, of course, talk about what our records were in the 6 games that we played last week. And then, of course, later on in the show, we'll talk about the 4 games from the divisional round. And, of course, make our picks for those. But I definitely just want to start off talking about our record. I believe I was about 3-3 on my picks. The first game we want to just briefly talk about that Texans-Chargers game. And I'm going to jump right into it. I called it what I said was going to happen. D'Amico Ryan's defense. And don't get me wrong, CJ did his thing, but them boys came to play. They got turnovers. They fly into the ball. And I knew what time it was. I just knew that Chargers offense wasn't enough for what those guys were ready to do on defense for D'Amico. Now, I don't know if that's going to be enough this week, but we'll get into that later. But, I got that first pick. And for that game, I want to know what you thought. What did you think, Luke? Because I know you had the Chargers.
I was very, very disappointed. The Chargers, again, but it's the Chargers, though. We know they've been disappointing for I don't know how many years. I have no idea why I had any faith in them, this year to come through for me. But they did surprise me towards the end of the season, but they came up short in the playoffs. I did also in my last take to say that D'Amico Ryans was like the most valuable asset on the Houston team, and so it was very important to note that even though I didn't pick them, I did say if there was going to be a factor, it would be him and his defense or whatever, and so they did come through. So that is a game that I lost. I think I was about 2-4, even though I'm going to have to explain to one of them. One of those might have an asterisk by it. You know what I mean? But we can go ahead and move into the next game.
Yeah. So, okay. Right now, we both, I'm 1-0, lose 0-1. The next game we're going to move into is that Steelers-Ravens. So let me go ahead and jump right in there saying, but I text Lou that night when the game was going on, okay? And I think it was like I immediately regret this decision. You know what I mean? The fact that I just felt like they stole these dudes' heart, and it didn't even feel like a divisional game. It just felt like they were just outmatched. It was just outcoached. They were playing at a different level, and of course, everybody expected them to win. So I guess a lot of people aren't shocked. I was shocked by a Mike Tomlin team that just didn't seem to be prepared, like with aggressiveness and as far as the want to fight harder. I just didn't see any fight, and that was what was shocking to me, because I just felt like the game. Don't get me wrong, I feel like they had a couple of little moments here and there, you know what I mean? But overall, I just don't think that they even thought that they were on the level, and it just seems like they knew it. And I guess that's what the result of it was. You know what I mean? I'm not going to spend too much time on it because everybody else picked the Ravens, of course, to win. I probably was the only one outside of everybody in Pittsburgh that picked the Ravens. I mean, that picked the Steelers to win, but ultimately, Ravens took care of business. So what did you have on that one, Lou?
Yes,
I'm 1-1 after that.
And I did pick the Ravens. I think they had a chip on their shoulder. I think Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and company, I think they just had more to fight for. You know what I mean? Lamar, again, like he was in the race for MVP, going against Josh Allen. He's come up short in the playoffs in the past. They considered to be, this, what do you call it, running quarterback, or, people really doubting him when he came in, and he really hasn't won the big chip yet. And so I know that's important to him to get a championship, or he is going to be considered to be, a disappointment in some ways, because with his talent level, you would expect that he would have at least one more you know what I mean? And
the weapons he's had. Yeah.
And Derrick Henry, the same thing. I think who he is as a runner this year, even though he was amazing. There were a couple of running backs who, Saquon Barkley, Kavon Williams, they were right there on his heels. And so I just think
Right.
he's making his case going further in the playoffs or whatever to say that he thinks that he may be the best running back in the NFL. Again, I think those guys had more to, just to fight for. It just really wasn't Steelers were really no match for the Ravens. And so I think that they really got a heavy dose of Henry, and that was too much for him. So,
Yeah, I think the whole group was just too much. And like you said, I mean, you picked them like in a landslide, and like most people did, you know what I mean? Which is rightfully so. It's like who I can't be mad at nobody, for picking the Ravens in that situation. They went up there and did, well, not really went up there. They were at home, but they just took care of home, and everybody expected them to do that. So at this point, me and Lou tied. We both 1-1 for the wild card weekend. I'm gonna stay in the AFC, okay, and I'm gonna go with that Broncos at Bills game. So my take was pretty simple. Good old boy Josh Allen ain't getting out of here yet. And I don't care what's gonna happen. I mean, that was a blowout, and it's nothing even worth talking about. But whether it was close or not, Josh Allen wasn't losing in the wild card weekend. So not with all this MVP talk and all this stuff. I just don't think the NFL is going to allow such a thing. So I mean, that was my pick, and that was an easy one for me. I mean, I just think I shot that one right out the cannon. Like, please, man, it ain't even gonna change nothing. So that'll put me at 2-1. What you have for it?
well, I definitely picked the Bills to win this one. I knew it was going to be
Right.
a landslide. I knew that the Broncos didn't have enough, but Sean Payton, you found a nice one, Bo Nix. I did say this is the future of Bo Nix. The guy is
Yeah.
showing some signs of a quarterback that can be around for the next couple of years. So, I'm excited for Sean Payton. I'm absolutely not a Broncos fan, but again, I'm a football fan. So again, Bo Nix, he seems like he's going to be a promising quarterback for the future for that franchise. So we'll see
Yeah.
what happens.
Well, we kind of both agree. I see that, I kind of made the point that I feel like he a couple years away. So I'm excited to see what he does in the full year and, full year under Sean and second year and being able to see what they can implement. So, we're right at evens again, still at 2-1 as we close out the AFC for the wild card weekend. That'll take us over to the NFC, which is, my favorite conference. Of course, I'm probably a little biased. My Bucks is in the NFC. Jumping into that Vikings Rams, was really at Vikings at Rams, which is also in Arizona. And real quick, man, I want to give a shout out to those folks in Arizona. Not that that has nothing to do with me living here, but the way they made that stadium feel like it was at home. I mean, they did the best that they could with the best with the situation. Covering up a lot of the Cardinal stuff with SoFi signs and really, really making sure that they felt like they could really have a home game, and be in that atmosphere. I'm sure it was, it's always going to be different, but it shocked the heck out of me. I didn't pick them to win. I didn't think they would win. I didn't think they would be able to get through all of the wildfire stuff and dealing with family issues and people displaced and, still having to focus on the game. But honestly, bro, not a Rams fan, but proud of them dudes, man. I mean, that was not an easy feat. The Vikings, won close games. I said all year, but they were won 14 games, bro. You don't win 14 games and by luck. All of them ain't luck. You know what I mean? So, I felt like they would dominate this game, and I was completely ass backwards on it. I mean, I feel like they just kind of showed their ugly underbelly, in the sense that the worst time to just fucking shit the bed. Like I mean, I really ain't no other way to say it. Like it's the worst time to play the worst possible football that they could ever play. I'm not gonna take anything away from the Rams and act as if that they didn't take this game too because they brought it to the Vikings. But I just feel like it's kind of like the similar take with the Steelers. It was no hard to me. I felt like they were nervous. It was jitters. Sam Darnold seemed like he reverted to the earlier years when he first came in the league and his antics and just not being aware of blitzes and turn the ball. It was just a lot of things that went against what they've done all year. So, you know, ultimately, that puts me at 2-2 for wild card weekend because I definitely did think the Rams were not going to win. But what did you have on that one?
Well, I picked the Vikings, even though I didn't want to. I'm a Green Bay fan, so we can't stand the Vikings, but they played
Right,
so well, and they
right,
beat us or whatever the case may be. So I just had to give my hat, to them or whatever, and believing that they were playing a little bit better football than the Rams were. Again, I'm not a Rams fan either, but I would say they would be my second team because I'm here in LA. You know what I mean? After Green Bay,
right,
but again, with everything going on here in LA, I wasn't sure where the Rams, um, where they were, if they were going to be able to show up, um, and because they were displaced, going
right.
out to Arizona or whatever the case may be, would they have enough to go out there and pull this game off against a really, really tough opponent or whatever the case may be, one of the better teams in the league this year or whatever, with a record of what? I think they were like 14-3 or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, they good
Yeah.
year.
So I mean, they had a really, really good record and whatever. And so, again, I was really shocked. Minnesota really, really, just really didn't show up. I lost that game. I was disappointed, but not really, because again, they are the Vikings. They are my rival. So anytime they lose, it's something to celebrate. And so
Right.
I appreciate the Rams taking care of business and for representing for LA, man, during a tough
Right.
time. You know what I mean? And so I'm sure all the Rams fans and people around LA, appreciate it because they get a chance to celebrate football at least one more week.
Right. Like you said, big shout out to the Rams. Like I said with the Yankees Dodgers series, I never got any problem with something good happening for the city, baby. It's never a problem with something good happening for the city, even if it is going against my team. You know what I mean? It's a bittersweet thing if it is against my team, but again, I can't wish bad stuff on the city. It just ain't in me. You know what I mean? So again, that leaves us at what? 2-2 again, right? We back to even with the same record for wild card weekend. That'll move us into the last two games. The last two games, which is our two games. I want to start off with your Green Bay Packers that were at the Philadelphia Eagles. Man, I'm gonna let you lead this one off. What you think, man?
Well, look, man, I got to be honest with my guys, you know what I mean? Because I know a lot of people like to sugarcoat and things like that, but I really, really am my heart and I'm my toughest critic when it comes to these guys. I wasn't really sure, whether we were going to show up and play, but did I really, really think we were going to go into the Eagles or whatever and beat these guys with the injuries that we had? Both quarterbacks, our receiving core was really not necessarily up to par or whatever. Josh Jacobs was the only thing that we were really leaning on or whatever, along with our defense or whatever. And we were showing flashes or whatever the case may be. But did I think that we really, really had enough to go in there and steal this game? Not really, even though I was leaning towards, and of course cheering my guys on that we would go in there and win, but we came up short. And I'm not surprised, but it did hurt. And hats off to the Eagles. We'll see what they got against the Rams, in the next one. But yeah, go ahead, man. That was a tough one for me to deal with, man.
Hey, man. So, Lewis, this is the asterisk game that Lewis talking about. All right? So, we're going to revert back. I'm going to see if we can go back to the tape right now, see if we can remember what Lewis picked. I think Lou did pick the Bay, okay? I think he picked the Bay. Maybe it was reluctant. But you did pick the Bay, all
Again, I
right?
got to go with the guys. I said I got to go with my guys. But
Yeah,
again, you know, we were going against a tough opponent. Did I really, really believe, deep down that we would win that game? I wasn't so sure, but I did
right.
ride with them, win or lose.
Right, that's what's up. You got to. You know what I mean? The same thing for me. I pretty much, I did give him a fighting chance, but overarching, I knew that the Philly was gonna take care of business. I think that's what I said. I think there were just too many weapons, too many options for Jalen Hurts to pick apart that defense. And you see Saquon, he had a game. You know, Jalen had a decent game. I don't think he played. I don't think exceptional, to be honest with you, but you know, he did enough to win. And, you know, with a lot of those weapons around you, you don't really have to do much. You got to kind of not lose it. You know what I mean? You just got to not turn the ball over. You got to not be silly with the football. You got to make the right plays. You got to, you know, complete your passes when you do throw it. You know, they had a good running game. And again, they're at home. They took care of business. You know what I mean? It's like I expected them to do. You know, so you know, at this point, you 2-3, I'm 3-2. We are moving into the last game, which is my Bucks game. And this will close out the wild card conversations and what our records were. And I'm just gonna start off by just this one. This hurts more than anything. You know what I mean? I mean, not only the way we lost, feeling like we had a chance up until the kick hits the post. Even after it hits it, you're not really sure if it bounced through or not. You know what I mean? So that anxiety is just overwhelming. You know what I mean? But at the same time, we put ourselves there. We had a goal line stance. We driving the ball. We what did I say in my take? Long as Baker don't kind of resort and do Baker things. Did Baker ball? I think he played pretty decent. But you got to complete the job. You know what I mean? And when your defense gets a stand inside of the 5 or 4 yard line, and you get the ball back and you're driving, you can't give them the ball right back. It just can't happen. Momentum is gone. Defense is upset. Everything is done at that point. And that play, the jet sweep, we ran a jet sweep to a wide receiver when we have the momentum and we're driving. And that's not Baker's fault. The only thing I will blame Baker on is the timing of the play. He snapped the play. It's a little late. He's getting the handoff to a person that doesn't get handoffs often. You know what I mean? And not, again, he snaps it early. He probably goes off with a handoff and nothing ever happens. But
Right.
that's a tough play to call in that situation when you got good running backs. You got people that you can give short handoffs to, and you're trying to run a cute little jet sweep to a wide receiver that gets maybe 5 carries in the season. And I just think it was poor timing for the play call choice. You know what I mean? So do I think that one play did it? No. I think that we had some other stuff, you know, that leading up to that where we weren't capitalizing in the red zone, getting field goals when we should have been getting touchdowns. You know what I mean? So again, we talked about this. Could Jaden go up there and do it? Absolutely. And he did. He did. And I can't even be mad at the kid, man, because he played his ass off. And he deserves it. Like I'm not trying to take nothing away from him, you know, but we did hand him the ball in the red zone. What do you know most kids gonna do? They gonna go down there and punch it in. You know what I mean? The momentum is all theirs. And they took care of business. I can't hate on it, man. I can't. I wanna hate on it. You know what I mean? Like I really do. But I can't act as if he didn't go and take it. He went up there and he took it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he deserved the credit. So I'm gonna leave it at that, man. What you
Yeah,
think?
man. Here's another one, man. I think this is another game that's a little asterisk by it because even though I gave a slight nod to Tampa Bay, I did and should give some credit that I said this is going to be the most exciting game
It
of the
was.
whole playoffs. I
It
called it.
was.
I called it. And
Yeah, it
it
was.
played out exactly in the way that I explained it in our take before the game. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so, man, I know I can't get no credit for a win. You know what I mean? But I do think I should get some credit in some type of way to be able to call a game because it was an amazing game. It went back and forth. Jaden
Right.
Daniels and Baker Mayfield played really, really well. Again, it came down to mistakes, whatever. Bottom line,
Yeah.
you know, it could have been
Yeah.
anybody's game or whatever. Again, like all the way down to the field goal, just like you mentioned. You know, but you cannot in that situation turn the ball over, and especially in the wrong territory. You know
Yeah.
what I
It's
mean?
just unacceptable.
And
Yeah.
so that's just what it came down to. You know what I mean? They gave them a gift or whatever. I really, really thought it was Tampa Bay's time, to be able to, move on and possibly have an opportunity. Because to tell you the truth, with what they actually have an opportunity to beat anybody in the league. When
They could.
when Tampa Bay is playing well or whatever, they can beat anybody in the league or whatever, hands down or whatever, because they have the weapons or whatever the case may be. And they play really well. Again, I said that they are one of those feisty teams. I used the word feisty in our last takes. Again, hats off to Washington, Jay Daniels and
Right.
company, man. Terry
They deserve it.
McLaurin, he balled, and they're moving on, so we'll see, what they have next or whatever against,
Yeah.
I believe, the Lions, so yeah.
Yeah, they do got the lines. No, you're right though, man. They did their thing. Well deserved. No argument there, bro. So that'll close us out for the wild card. We got some asterisk wins over there, but or some honorable mentions, I would call them. But yeah, but we're gonna go. I'm gonna go with 3-3 for the week, and you are 2-4 for the
2 and
week.
4.
Uh, that'll close us out on wild card weekend. Shifting gears on up to divisional round, baby. We're gonna jump a little bit back and forth because the first game I want to talk about is the obvious game. Texans at Chiefs. What you got?
Well, I think it's really, really hard at this point after seeing what they've done after so many years or whatever, that the Chiefs are just them dudes, man. You know, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, even though Patrick Mahomes has been, not necessarily this Patrick Mahomes of years previous. I think he took a step back this year. You know what I mean? Injuries, things
Mm-hmm.
like that, but still the same Patrick Mahomes or whatever the case may be. And so, but he has way too many weapons, man. It's almost unfair. And if all of those guys are healthy and, I believe the Texans are on the road. I think it's just going to
Yeah.
be too much, for them. D'Amico Ryans or not, I think he knows Andy Reid because I think that he coached with him, at one point or another. But yeah, I don't know if Texans are going to be able to handle this, and I think the Chiefs are going to be able to come out of this one victorious and move on. What about you?
Man, I can't stand the Chiefs, bro. Uh, I don't even know what it is, man. I don't know if it's the media hype around them. I don't know if it's Taylor Swift. I don't know if it's the Kelsey brothers, even though the other brother ain't even involved, but I include him too. This motherfucker be in the stands, he a part of the goddamn organization now too, okay? They get on my goddamn nerves, man. I don't even know what other way to say this. But they not going home. Not this week. The young man is gonna have to wait a little bit longer. You see what I'm saying? It's just you got your 2 wins in the playoffs. That's more than a lot of quarterbacks got, bro. You got 2 wins already in 2 years, and that ain't. I think he ain't got maybe got 1 or 2 in 9 years or something like that. I mean, I think Tony Romo only got a couple of them. I'm not picking on the Cowboys, but I kind of am because fuck them too. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's doing well for himself. He's in a good situation, but not yet, not so fast. You know what I mean? That's kind of the way it is with the Chiefs, man. So as much as I want to see, I want to be wrong. I would love to be wrong, but I don't feel like I'm going to be wrong. I think the Chiefs take care of business at home, Arrowhead. Too much for those young Texans. You know
Yeah,
what I
I think
mean?
they're going to be too
I
much
think
fun,
that
man.
I think the D'Amico Ryan's defense will start off exciting. They will start off very passionate. They'll be flying around, and then I think Andy Reid goes into the bag, and it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's gonna be too much after that. With the weapons, like you said, with the guys you got throwing the ball, with who he got throwing the ball to, and with Andy Reid scheming it, we'll see them in the conference
And I'm
conference
going to say
championship.
something real, some people might think this is a wild comment, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think Andy Reid got more in his bag than Belichick had.
Oh yeah, I don't feel like that's it
Oh,
though.
okay, all right, for sure. Because I was going to say, I know a lot of people think Belichick and his longevity and how long and all his success or whatever the case may be, man. I just think Andy Reid, man. This
Scheme
dude,
wise, it's not even
he,
close.
he,
Honestly,
he different, man.
yeah,
This
it's
dude,
not even close. I don't even think Bill was an offensive mindset like
no,
that.
he's a defensive guy.
I think he's more of a corporation leader.
I
I feel like he runs the corporation from top to bottom better than
agree.
anybody's ever
I
done.
agree. Well, Andy,
So when we talking about X's and O's,
I think Andy's up there too.
yeah, but I get what you're saying.
Culture wise,
I get what you're saying, but there's a level of professionalism that I think that this has another level when it's talking about Bill Belichick.
I think it's a level of prestige that you're talking about when it comes to the Patriots. That they have this this level of or standard or whatever the case may be that maybe other teams are not on that level.
Yeah, but I don't think that it's the Patriots. I think it's because of Bill. I didn't feel that about the organization before he took over. I think he brought that sense of professionalism and that sense of order, no disorder going on in this group from top to bottom. Otherwise, you're out of here. I think that started with him. You know what I mean? Even the Parcell days, it wasn't like that. You didn't get that feel. Bill did that, and I give him that. But on the field, he needs an offensive coordinator, and he don't.
Very true.
Just that simple. You know what I mean? Like he brought Josh McDaniels everywhere he went, damn near. You know what I mean?
But does
So
Andy Reid need a defensive coordinator?
he does. He does. Again. But I said scheme. I'm talking about when you trying to. That's all I was talking about. When
True.
Andy Reid goes into the bag, ain't nobody better.
That's true. Very true.
Maybe Shanahan, if you can talk about that, but I still think Andy got it.
Yeah, I do
I
too.
do.
Andy,
So
I
yeah,
agree.
all right. Let's jump back on topic. So we got both of our picks for the first game of the divisional round. We both, of course, went with the obvious pick, the Chiefs. I'm gonna flip flop a little bit. Let's go NFC real quick and go Lions Commanders. And these are, excuse me, the Commanders are at the Lions, of course, being the higher seed. I'm gonna jump right into this, and I'm feeling the kid, man. I think he's gonna do it again. I think the Lions is not necessarily at 100% strength. I do think they're banged up. I do also think that Jaden's not scared of this situation, being that he's went down to Tampa and did it on the road already. He's going to be indoors, so it's not going to be a situation where Detroit's weather has any factor, which means he's going to be able to run the ball on them consistently. But I do feel like it's gonna be a hard fought game. I mean, Dan Campbell has a good, well-oiled machine over there. I think that he's kind of like the way I saw Mike Tomlin and how, or even D'Amico when it's talking about the team that just loves to play for this guy. They love his energy and they love what he brings. There ain't a lot of X's and O's. It's more motivated. It's more Lombardis around here. You know what I mean? Like he really just says the right thing. He has the right demeanor, the right attitude, and people just want to play hard. You know what I mean? He got weapons. You know, Amaraz, I can't remember his name. I can never say that dude's name, but he got weapons. You know, he got guys that can can move the ball down the field. And I think that I think it'll be a close game. But I'm gonna go with the Commanders because I feel like they got the momentum right now. When you come off, it's tough when you got these bye weeks and you try to come back and match the energy of a team that just played, coming off a high, playing well. They played well. The defense played well in Tampa. You know what I mean? Like they did what it took. And I think that sometimes is difficult for the bye team to just come back and be ready to go and be able to match that energy. You know, so I got Commanders
I'm
on the
gonna roll
road.
with you, man. I'm gonna roll with you.
Whoa, whoa.
Pick the
Okay.
Commanders, man. I think the guys. I think that they rolling. Again, I think that you made the greatest point is the injuries right now happening. Montgomery going out, towards the end of the season or whatever was a huge blow, to their running back situation or whatever. Even though they have another one, Gibbs is a baller. Of course they had their quarterbacks, and I think everybody else is in play. But I think Dan Campbell, he's he's got his hands full or whatever the case may be. So, and this is another coach whose team will run through a wall for him too. You know what I
Right.
mean? Washington is they those dudes are hungry, man. The way they were playing Tampa Bay and going back and forth, their defensive line or whatever the case may be was relentless. So
Yeah.
I just really think that they're gonna take that same momentum over there to Detroit. And if I had to, pick today, man, I would say, I think Washington is going to win or whatever. And I'm excited to see what Daniels is going to do or whatever. If he can go, through this game or whatever and further, man, that'll be exciting to see.
It
So
will
yeah,
be exciting.
Commanders is my pick for this week.
That's what's up. I honestly, it's always easy, what I mean, to go with the grain and pick the number one seed. So I think that both of us kind of going out on a limb, I think is a good look. You know what I mean?
Right.
And again, everybody got an opportunity. So I'm gonna stay right there in the NFC. We're gonna go with the Rams at Eagles. Now they got to go up to Philly now. So I'm not really sure. I think the buck stops here, not because I believe that the Rams are just super, super outmatched. It's just really hard for them West Coast teams to go east and deal with the weather and deal with the adversity of playing on the road. And again, it was a big high, a lot of emotions flying after the fires. You got a lot of things going, and I can see how they came out fighting. They almost like they're nothing to lose. If I lose, I go home. I deal with this situation I got at home. If I win, we keep on going. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like came in with that mentality, and I get how they came out so feisty. But I think again, you were going up against a different beast in Minnesota than the Eagles. As much as I don't like the Eagles and their fan base, you know what I mean? It's kind of like it's not as bad as it's different. I would say it's not. I want to say it's not as bad because I don't like the Chiefs. I don't like the Eagles fan base either. I just think they some nasty motherfuckers. I don't like them at all, and I want them to lose with all my heart. You know what I mean? But I do think that they're just too good right now. And they got a good momentum. They playing so well together. They got a good camaraderie. These dudes are laughing. They playing. They having fun. You know what I mean? And just to get that home game and that weather in January for a Los Angeles team to go out there and try to do that, I think it's just too tall of an ask for these guys at this juncture. And I know I picked against them last week and they proved me wrong. And if they do it for me, do it again for LA, man, so be it. I just don't think it's happening. So,
Well, let me
what
tell
you got?
you this. I'm not going against them again.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
going with them. I'm going with them Rams, man. I'm going with them Rams. I just think those guys have nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing. That's what they've proven, or whatever, with their last
Mm-hmm.
game and with this game, that they have nothing to lose. They know that the world is probably picking against them, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Most people think
True.
that they probably overmatched, but when you look at it, man, and you look at it on paper or whatever, the Rams actually are a pretty stacked team. You know
They
what?
got weapons.
With Puka Nakua, with Cooper Cup, who is not the old Cooper Cup, but he's still a serviceable receiver or
Oh,
whatever.
you're reliable.
Very, very reliable or
Yeah.
whatever. They have one of the best running backs in the league right now, you know. And so their defense is playing really, really well or whatever, one of the better defenses in the league or one of the teams that are still left in the playoffs or whatever. So I really think that they're going to go up there and they're going to shock the Eagles. The Eagles are one of those teams that can lose any game to any team. Even
Yeah.
though I think that they're playing well right now, I just think that they're one of those teams that if they do lose, nobody's shocked because we've seen this before from the Eagles. We've seen this from
Right.
Jaden Hurts. And I just think that the Rams have what it takes with everything going on in LA, man. Again, they got a lot to fight for. And I just think the LA and the city is behind them. And that they're gonna go up there and they're gonna shock some folks. So I'm calling the Rams this week.
I like it, Lou. And honestly, I hope you're right, bro. I just don't think you are. But I do hope you're right. I mean that with all of my heart. Please go up there and shut these dudes up. But it's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be difficult. You know what I mean? But again, you're right. Nothing, no points that you made is not valid. You know, sometimes you think about a little bit of arrogance, little bit going on over there too, and you never really want a lot of that going on in the playoffs. You know what I mean? So be on the lookout for that too. You get a little too cocky, you know what I mean? You may be some slippage, some slippage going on in there. You know, but I'm gonna stick with my story. I think the Phillies take care of business. I think they go to the conference championship. All right, so we got to split on that one. The final game, prime time game. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and start out, Lou, and I'm gonna let you end it with. But I'm gonna pick with my heart on this one. Okay, I need Lamar to do this, man. I need it for everything in me, bro. I gotta have it. It's all the hope I have left for football in the NFL. This is all I have left. Okay, my Bucks are out of here, bro. You know what I mean? Like I need it. You understand what I'm saying? Like you gotta do it. Nothing else matters. You see what I'm saying? This is the Super Bowl.
It's
You
just
need to
Super
take this
Bowl.
dude out. You gotta take him out. All this talk about being compared as the MVP, shut it all up when they played on that game. We got Ravens, we got Bills. And the Ravens gotta go to Buffalo and do this, which
They
is a
do.
terrible place to go.
Oh yeah, it's cold out there.
But if anybody can do it, I believe you can, Lamar. I believe you can. I believe if you get a good dose of Derek, a good dose of you running the ball and giving them that RPO, that run pass option, and making sure that you're accurate with your passes, as best as you possibly can, you can beat them. They're not world beaters. They do have an advantage playing up there in that nastiness up there in January. But I do think you got it, man, and I hope to God, bro. I'm gonna say this is all emotion right here, man. Please, brother, please be sharp. Have your boys ready to go do it, man. I got the Ravens, bro. What you got?
Man, this is one of them games that's really tough for me because I think both teams are just so different but evenly matched at the same time. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I think that there's an air attack, with the Bills that could really stifle the Ravens. And I think that there's a running attack. Stopping Derrick Henry in the snow, that's different, bruh. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I don't care if you are used to it. Yeah, I don't care if
Exactly.
you are used to it. Yeah,
Exactly. I don't care
yeah,
how much you've been tackling. Trying to tackle that big buffalo in the
right.
snow, that's a tall task. You know what I
Especially in the
mean?
fourth quarter when you're tired. You know what I
So,
mean?
and again, I'm really, really hoping that they can establish the run. And I'm picking the Ravens. I'm hoping the Ravens will win this game or whatever. Again, just like you said, and for all the same reasons, I need Lamar to do this. I need Lamar to shut everybody up who doubted him.
Right,
Anybody who's ever doubted the dude. The people, even his own team, who didn't want him to give him the money. You know what I mean?
right.
When it was time to have contract negotiations and they were messing around and saying that this dude, at a time that he
Right.
got injured, they really wanted to do him dirty, man. So
They did.
even for his own organization, man, I really want this dude to win this game. I want him to win it all. Put it that way. I
That's
want the
facts.
Ravens to win it all. I don't want the Rams to win it all. I want the Ravens to win it all. So that's my pick for this week. That's my pick all the way through the Super Bowl. Since my guys didn't win, I'm going with Lamar. And yeah, man, come on. I hope you guys can do this and bring it home. Let's go, Lamar. Let's go,
Yeah,
Derek
man.
Henry. Let's go, John.
I'm with you, bro. I think that it's crazy that we got the battle. We both got the battle of the bays in our team, and him being Green Bay. I'm a Tampa Bay fan, and we both have the same sentiment. You know what I mean? Like with our teams being knocked out of here, we had our moment to soak. Both of us needed a couple days to figure some things out. You know what I mean? After those losses, but this is the torch now, bro. This is what I had. That's what I got left. I need this to happen to me to save the NFL season for me. I gotta be honest. I'm not gonna be super excited if he's out of it. I'm gonna come back and talk to y'all. I ain't gonna leave y'all hanging, but I'm just letting y'all know it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a hard ass conversation. You know what I mean? Nigga ain't gonna really be caring that much. You know what I mean? Because I ain't gonna even lie. I ain't gonna even hold you, bro. I'm gonna be mad if this nigga don't win. So, with that being said, man, that wraps up this week's episode of Talk Your Shift. Man, we appreciate y'all for coming out and checking us out, man, hanging out with us. We love y'all. We want y'all to make sure y'all tune back in. We're going to have a recap show once these games are over for the weekend, the divisional round weekend. But, you know, you can give me your best, Lou, and we can get up out of here, man.
Man, we appreciate y'all always rocking with us. Thank you for everybody, you know, tuning in, subscribing. And so let's keep it going. Tell a friend. Talk Your Shift is here, and we're going to keep going up. Thank you, everybody.
What's up? We appreciate y'all. See y'all the next time. We out.